What if I told you that the fate of entire US states, yes, entire economies hangs on one surprising lifeline? Canadian tourists? That without their dollars, road trips, and shopping sprees, some of America's most iconic destinations could literally collapse. Florida's billion-dollar theme parks? At risk. Las Vegas casinos? Already shaking. And that's just the beginning. The numbers don't lie. A 38% drop in Canadian travel has already triggered panic in border towns, mass layoffs in retail, and even desperate marketing campaigns begging Canadians to return. So why are Canadians staying away? Is it the rising US dollar, political backlash, or something far more sinister? And more importantly, can these states survive the collapse that's already underway? This is 10 US states that could collapse without Canadian tourists. Buckle up, the answers will shock you. Number 1, Florida. Florida has always been Canada's tropical backyard of winter escape, where nearly 3 million Canadians flock each year to soak up the sun. But now, that sunshine may be dimming fast. Political tensions, soaring travel costs, and a sharp rise in the US dollar have triggered what insiders are calling a Canadian cold front across Florida's beaches and resorts. In economic terms, it's a disaster waiting to happen. Even a 10% drop in Canadian travel equals a staggering $2.1 billion in lost spending. That's not pocket changes enough to jeopardize over 14, zero jobs in tourism, hospitality, and entertainment. Major employers like Disney and Universal Studios are already feeling the pinch. Florida's government is panicking. Events like Florida Huddle are being rolled out to lure Canadians back. But are they too little? Too late? In 2025 alone, road and air travel from Canada plummeted by over 30%, and many Canadians are choosing to vacation domestically due to affordability. The question no one wants to answer: if Canadians stop coming, who will keep Florida's multi-billion-dollar tourism economy afloat? The cracks are already showing, and they run deep. Number 2, California. California isn't just sun and surf, it's a magnet for international tourists, and Canadians are among its biggest fans. In 2024 alone, $1.8 million Canadians visited the state, pumping billions into its economy through hotels, theme parks, and high-end shopping. But 2025 has brought a chilling shift. With a stronger US dollar and discontent over US-Canada trade policies, Canadians are pulling back. So much so that California launched the California Loves Canada campaign, slashing prices by 25% across 0+ venues just to win them back. Sound desperate? That's because it is. Without Canadian spending, California stands to lose billions. That means mass layoffs, tax shortfalls, and weakened local economies from San Francisco to San Diego. Even regions like Napa Valley, heavily reliant on Canadian wine tourism, are on the edge. And here's the real kicker. As travel boycotts grow, Canadians aren't just avoiding California, they're actively encouraging others to stay away. Is this the final warning sign for one of America's richest states? Number 3, New York. New York has always been a weekend paradise for Canadians, especially those just across the border in Ontario and Quebec. Whether it's shopping in Buffalo, Broadway, and Manhattan, or skiing in the Adirondacks, Canadian dollars keep the state humming. But that hum is becoming a whisper. According to recent polls, the percentage of Canadians planning trips to New York dropped from 23% last year to just 10% this summer. That's not just a trend, it's a crisis. And it spells doom for hotels, cultural attractions, and retail hotspots that depend on weekend getaways. The financial hit is massive. Analysts predict multi-billion-dollar losses if the decline continues. Cities like Niagara Falls, Syracuse, and Albany bustling with Canadian foot traffic here, already reporting ghost town weekends. So why are Canadians vanishing? Political fatigue, weak exchange rates, and tariffs are just the surface. The real danger? New York's urban tourism machine is grinding to a halt, and most people haven't even noticed yet. Number 4, Nevada. Las Vegas used to be a dream for Canadian tourists. Casinos, world-class shows, and flashy nightlife made it a top-tier destination. But in 2025, Vegas is bleeding out, and Canadian absence might be the final blow. Travel stats don't lie. Canadian road trips to Nevada are down 38%, and air travel has dropped 24% in just 1 month. For a state that thrives on tourist dollars, especially from its northern neighbor, that's catastrophic. Local casinos are cutting staff, convention centers are seeing cancellations, and entertainers are seeing fewer ticket sales. What happens when the glitz of Vegas meets economic reality? A collapse in slow motion. But here's the most shocking part. Vegas has no clear plan B. With Canadians gone and domestic travelers tightening their wallets due to inflation, Nevada's tourism engine is sputtering and may not recover. Number 5, Illinois. Chicago has always drawn Canadians with its urban flair sports events, museums, fine dining. But lately, the Windy City is feeling more like the empty city. As Canadian tourist numbers slide, local businesses are quietly bracing for impact. Airlines like WestJet are slashing U.S. routes due to softening demand, and Illinois is feeling the heat. With fewer flights, fewer visitors are landing in Chicago. Retail, restaurant, and hospitality sectors are taking hits that few are talking about. The numbers may not be front-page news, but insiders know what's happening. Tourism-linked revenues are shrinking, and small businesses from hotels in the Loop to jazz clubs in Hyde Park already seeing lower profits. Could Chicago be the next Detroit? If Canadian spending keeps falling, the answer may be yes. Number 6, Massachusetts. Massachusetts has always marketed itself as a haven for thoughtful tourism heritage sites, Ivy League campuses, and quaint New England charm. Canadians used to flock there for culture and nostalgia, but now they're staying home. Recent surveys show a collapse in travel interest. While 23% of Canadians planned U.S. trips last year, only 10% intend to do so in 2025. That drop directly hits Massachusetts, where local tourism thrives on seasonal visitors. This isn't just a financial concern, it's cultural. Institutions like the Freedom Trail, Salem's Witch Museums, and Boston's academic tours are operating at reduced capacity. Local businesses that depend on Canadian dollars are on the brink. How long before iconic sites close their doors for good? With Canadian tourists vanishing, Massachusetts' storied past may be heading toward an uncertain future. Number 7, Washington. With its long shared border and strong cultural ties, Washington state once enjoyed a constant flow of Canadian traffic. But that lifeline is being choked off. In May 2025 alone, Canadian road trips into Washington dropped by 38%. For local economies in towns like Bellingham, Spokane, and Blaine, that drop is a financial death sentence. These communities rely on weekend Canadian shoppers to sustain gas stations, malls, and grocery stores. The decline is hitting regional tourism hard. Wine country tours in Yakima, ferry rides in Puget Sound, and even trips to Seattle are all seeing sharp downturns in attendance and spending. It's a domino effect, and the pieces are falling fast. Will border towns survive? Without Canadian dollars, many are heading for economic collapse and fast. Number 8, Michigan. Detroit and southern Michigan live and breathe cross-border commerce. Canadian visitors routinely flood in for everything from car shows to outlet mall shopping. But the engine that powered this system is stalling. Reduced travel from Canada is already leading to widespread retail contraction. Malls are seeing fewer visitors, and border towns are reporting double-digit revenue drops across multiple industries. The reason? Rising costs, reduced travel interest, and political bitterness. Many Canadians now view U.S. visits as unnecessary luxuries, and Michigan is feeling the sting. Could Michigan become the poster child for border town economic collapse? If trends continue, the answer may already be written. Number 9, Vermont. Vermont may seem quiet, even insulated, but its economic heartbeat, small towns, cozy inns, artisan shops is dangerously dependent on Canadian tourism, and that heartbeat is slowing. Even a modest 10% drop in Canadian tourists could devastate Vermont's fragile economy. Towns like Stowe, Burlington, and Montpelier rely on seasonal visitors for more than half of their annual tourism revenue. The problem is simple. No Canadians means no cash flow. With fewer tourists renting cabins, buying crafts, or skiing the slopes, entire communities could lose their lifeline. Can Vermont's rural economy survive the winter ahead? Or is it already too late? Number 10, New Hampshire. Much like Vermont, New Hampshire has thrived on Canadian road traffic, particularly for its tax-free retail hubs. But as of May 2025, that road traffic has collapsed down by a staggering 38%. This isn't just a blip. It's a structural threat to New Hampshire's economy. Towns like Littleton and Conway are seeing steep drops in foot traffic, hotel bookings, and dining revenue. Family-owned businesses are closing, malls are emptying, And with the Canadian dollar weakening and tariffs still in play, there's no clear recovery in sight. If the trend continues, New Hampshire may be one of the first states to economically implode due to this quiet border crisis. Canadian tourists once poured $20.5 billion annually into the US economy. That figure is now crumbling. And for states like Florida, New York, and Washington, the losses aren't just financial, they're existential. So here's the real question. Can America afford to lose its neighbor? Or are these declines just the beginning of a broader collapse in US tourism and local economies? This isn't just about vacations, it's about survival.